This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses.
So, as I said earlier, I was going to collect this one today, back off of Tony from up the road, who's been borrowing it. Cheers, Tony. And, you know, when you don't play a guitar for a while, you do sometimes wonder if that kind of honeymoon thing is going to kick in, where you get it back and you're like, actually, it's not as good as I remembered, or whatever. But I can genuinely say that the PRS DGT SE, this one I got from Peach, I think each time I picked it up, I've been actually really surprised, and at this point no longer surprised. I've done a bunch of videos on it, and all of them I think I've been suitably impressed. And yeah, that honeymoon thing is kind of not kicked in, and I think it really does feel like a more expensive guitar to play than it is. It's got a great slinky feeling to it. It comes with 9s strung on it from the factory, and the frets are a little bit taller. It's got the DGT neck profile, which feels somewhat similar, I think, to the wide fat, but not slim, not flat. It's just got a really nice feeling to it. And then my favourite aspect to it, which I don't really have on my other guitars, is the ability to back off and still have some glassiness. I'll try and demonstrate that now. So we're into a really high gain as you'll be able to hear if I go. So I don't know, yeah, to me, my other guitars don't really do that. This one does. And presumably that's because there's a treble bleed in here enabling that sort of thing. So I normally run with the coil split or coil tap on because I'm a single coil boy mostly, but the thing that I really like about it is that it cleans up really, really, really well. None of my other guitars have these treble bleeds on, like my normal Strats don't. And so you get a little bit woolly, especially into something like a Mesa Boogie style amp or into a really high gain thing without loads of high end, because I tend to roll off for my high end drive tones quite a lot of the high end, down to sort of 4K or something like that. With normal kind of setups without a treble bleed, I kind of get a little bit woolly, and so for that reason I guess the volumes are not something that I would use loads on a normal guitar. On the PRS DGT, I think it is something that actually you could very realistically have, and I think this is the reason for them having the setup the way that they do, or Dave did, or whatever. You could have your neck pickup with a different volume, say back it off to 7/4 or something like that, and legitimately have a really good tone that doesn't have like this woolly roll off, and then kick yourself over to the bridge pickup. Legitimately, that could be a way to do things and have good tones in both positions. That's my experience with PRS guitars that I've had. Particularly influenced by this one, to be fair. I don't have any other PRS guitars except for the hollow body, which I think Ryan is grabbing off of me at some point. But really pleased with this one. It hasn't opened up the gateway where I think I need to have a core PRS or an S2, because this is literally good enough that I don't even have to look up the PRS kind of quality tree. So really pleased with it. It's doing a different thing to many of my other guitars. I gigged it last year and had really good experiences. The one thing that I did find with it was that if you go berserk with like a high bend and then abuse the whammy, it's not going to hold its pitch as well as a locking trem or something like that. So don't get too carried away with it. But for general kind of light whammy tinkering, the trem has been pretty stable for me. And all round the guitar is a bit of a beaut, I think. These are not the stock volume knobs. Jason Wade decided that I needed to have something better looking. So these are the, off of the PRS cores, and they do look a little bit better than the normal flat things. The only other thing that you're really missing that I think looks really quality on the high-end PRSs is the, what they call the violin carve. Is it the violin carve? The thing where you've got this really nice contouring. You don't get that on the DGT line, but, that's why it's not $4,000, I guess. Have you had a DGT SE? Did you dig it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Tony, let me know what you thought of it as well. I didn't think I asked you in person particularly. But yeah, I think it's a really decent guitar. Particularly the gold top, I think, looks even better than this. A little bit more understated. Don't know. Great guitars. I think Leon Todd agreed. Maybe. I was using the DGT lead preset for the intro, as well as the 3580 stomp for the kind of 80s clean. But those are in the Gumroad folder if you want to check that out. And cheers.